This is a tutorial, a two-part tutorial on shapes. So we're going to start with our 8.5 letter size paper and using our lead or blue pencil and an eraser. Again, the idea here is to follow along and create your notes. So what I'm going to be doing here is putting our title down. So it is shapes, like an H, and those are two-dimensional. And this is one of two video tutorials. So what we've got here is our first shape. We took a look in elements of design, and one of the basic shapes, three basic shapes that we went over there, one of them is a 4 equal-sided shape. Try and make this as equal as possible so that each length of line is the same size and that they're horizontal and vertical and at right angles to each other. So what this shape is called is a square. Pretty straightforward, and it is made up of 4 equal sides. And we'll just draw that in so we can see it better. Perfect. So the next one, we're going to start with the same sides. I'm going to have a short line here, but I'm going to put it a distance away from the other one. And then I'm going to bridge those with a horizontal line. Again, so the two ends are equal and the two horizontal top and bottom ones are parallel to each other and equal in size. So there are 4 sides, but they're not all equal. So that one is called a rectangle. And we'll darken that in. Okay. We'll move on. So I'm going to draw in blue. And again, it's important in the process that we use blue pencils and lead pencils. The blue pencil, it gives us a chance to check where things are going to go, and we can always use the eraser or redo things in the blue to make it work to how we want it. So here, a rectangle, but what I'm going to do this time is from this edge up, I'm going to create a diagonal line. From this edge down, I'm going to create a diagonal line. Kind of like our rectangle, except, or even our square, but top and bottom are horizontal and parallel to each other, but the other ends here are on an angle and not perfectly vertical. So what this one is called is a parallelogram. So it's a variation on our triangle and our square. And the next ones all will be that way. Here I'm going to draw a square here, like we had before. Make it a little longer here. And I'm going to take that line, how we started our parallelogram, I'm going to bring this line up from that corner. But on this side, I'm going to start down here and bring it up so that angle is coming in towards the other one. So what it does is our horizontal line at the top is short, horizontal line at the bottom is longer, and then we have these two angled sides, but this way this line is angled inwards and not outwards. So that has a very specific name, and that is a trapezoid. So a lot of these shapes are part of geometry, so a subject that you can do a little bit more research in. Again, the more knowledge you have, the more this is going to help you with your visual communications and to be able to draw and break down shapes into more complex objects. So here I'm going to, I got another shape here. I'm going to start with a rectangle. This time I'm going to go upwards on an angle, but then I'm going to stop before I reach here. And the same with this side. I'm going to come down but stop before I get here. Then from this corner I'm going to bring a line up an angle to match or to meet with that point, and the same with here. So what we have now is all angled lines. None of them are absolutely horizontal or vertical. They're all in an angle in those directions. And this one is called a, want to get this right. Good old eraser. A rhombus. So everything that we've done up to this point has 4 sides. We started with 4 equal sides, and then they all started going in different directions to give us unique shapes. This one, we're going to start with a square. I'm going to put a line above the horizon, the middle of that square. So I'm going to bring this line over. I'm not going to take it to the edge because this is supposed to be equal sides. I'm not sure how successful I'm going to be on that. Let me see. There we go. So this shape has 5 equal, oh boy, I messed that up too. Equal sides. So I'm trying to make those equal. But that gives us another unique shape. And the name of this one is a pentagon. Now what's interesting, you may have seen this shape. Here, I'm going to make more of a 3-dimensional version of that. And I'm trying to depict here a building that is this shape. And you might be familiar with that if you've watched, some action movies and such. They may refer to this building, which is the American military headquarters. Something of which I was familiar for a long time and always known it as, and it is called, the Pentagon. But I thought that Pentagon name was a highly technical military term, but find out now, exploring shapes, that they just named the building after the shape of the building. And it gets to a point where you associate that name with the function of the building or the contents of that building as opposed to the shape of the building. So get a little bit more understanding of the world around us by understanding, shapes and their names and such, and how it influences design. And that's why we're going through this exercise, because that is important and critical. Going to do another one. I'm going to start with a square. So that was a man-made object inspired by a 2D shape. What I want to do this time is look at a shape. Really achieving that. I think the top's a little short, but let me give this one a go here, see if I can fix it with the lead pencil a little bit. So the last one, pentagon, 5 equal sides. This one here has 6. And let me get this, did the same thing. Forgetting the E on equal. 6 equal sides. And where we see this in nature, as I was referring to before, and let's see if I can do a little drawing here. If here is a small version of that shape, and the name of that shape, let me do that. Hexagon. And where we see that in nature, maybe you're ahead of me on this one, but I want to draw it out, is the very convenient stackability of this shape. You can see where I can build off of that very easily. And you might be familiar with those shapes, and as a cluster they are known as a honeycomb. And who makes use of that in nature? That is our friend the honeybee. Uses that to create structure. So now we'll go to another one. We'll use the square again as reference, or to start things out. Now this one, we've got, here, let me start out at the top. Similar to our hexagon, where we have two parallel short lines at the top and the bottom. And this one we're going to have short lines vertically on either side, and then we're going to join those up. So we're building on how many sides on our shapes here? And this one is 8. Let me bring this up. 8 equal sides. And you're probably familiar with this shape. It's something that we see all of the time. And the shape is quite symbolic to its meaning, or to the use that it's used to communicate. And that is a stop sign. Let me see if I can get the word stop in here. And again, here in Ontario, we're used to stop as an English word that helps us traffic-wise at an intersection. And again, you'll see the same shape around the world. And if you've been to Quebec, you'll have seen the same shape, but with a different word in here. So it's universal. This shape communicates so that anybody, when they see that shape, understands its meaning. As a stop sign, and that is an octagon. The first segment of this octagon is the same in nature. We name a sea creature called an octopus, and that means it has 8 tentacles. So that's that 8 reference in there. So we can see these multiple sides in this case. So here we're going to go back into some basics here. I'm going to draw another square, trying to make it equal-sided, and divide that into 4 equal sections. And that's so I can put an angle here and an angle there, and then an angle here and an angle here. And what that does, it takes our square shape and puts it up on one of its points. So it's not really a different shape, but it's its orientation to our view, or in this case on our page. So if we do that, it now becomes a new shape, to which is referred to as a diamond. And that's just taking that square and moving it over up on hand. Now a diamond, we refer to a diamond as an object, as a precious gem. So maybe a more complex shape to get across a diamond might be more of this, of taking two different shapes, in this case a trapezoid and a triangle, and putting them together gives us a more complex shape that would refer to a diamond. So we'll do one more, and then that'll be the end of this tutorial, but you'll have to pick up on the next tutorial, part 2, to wrap up all the information we have on shapes. So here I'm going to do a rectangle, but it is going to be tall. And I'm going to put a line through here, up above the center. I'm going to put two angled lines, so it's going to be very much like our diamond shape, except they're not going to be equal. I'm going to have elongated angled lines here coming to a point. And you know, if I brought this down, that would help locate those points. So this shape, we'll fill this one in. Is referred to as a kite. So I'm not sure which name came first, the shape or the object that you may have played with at some point, which is the kite which you fly on a windy day in the sky, and often for stability you have a tail. This is a classic kite. They get far more elaborate than this, but here is a practical purpose of that kite shape. It actually has some aerodynamics and able to fly on it. Okay, so there we go. There's page 1 of shapes, our two-dimensional creations here. We have another page and another section to go through. So please go through both these videos, follow along. You can stop at any point so that you can create a page like this. These are your visual notes. You need to submit this digitally for marks to show that you have been participating, that you have been making these notes, and you have understood the lesson and the breakdown of these shapes and how they're going to help us create more complex things. All right, great. See you in the next video.